Happy Monday, good people. We're live from the I Am Athlete channel. I'm Corey Holmes, and I'm with Ashley Nicole Moss. And Brandon Marshall, he's in the building today. He'll be with us in a few. And we got a legendary conversation with all-pro wide receiver Deandre Hopkins coming up. So stay tuned for that, man. I'm super, super excited. Ashley, how we feeling today? We had a good weekend?
Yeah, I had a good weekend. Nice, relaxing one. I think I got like a semi-tan, so I feel nice and bronzy and tropical. Super excited for DHop. Big fan of his. I got a chance to interview him at Super Bowl in LA when I was still with Sports Illustrated. So I'm really excited to see him again and catch up and see what's going on. There's a lot to dive into. I know you're more than ecstatic. The Heat took a 3-0 lead against the Boston Celtics, who looked absolutely atrocious. Happy day for you. Sad day for me because the news of Carmelo Anthony retiring came out early this morning around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I was not emotionally prepared for that. So
I wasn't either.
Yeah.
I know, Carmelo, why you had to drop that on us, man?
No, and the video was so... I can't do it.
We actually have the video. Let's take a look at the video. I know. Sorry you have to relive this.
I remember the days when I had nothing, just a ball on the court, and the dream was something more. But basketball was my outlet. My purpose was strong, my communities, the cities I represented with pride, and the fans that supported me along the way. I am forever grateful for those people and places, because they made me, Carmelo Anthony. But now the time has come for me to say goodbye. To the court where I made my name, to the game that gave me purpose and pride. But this bittersweet goodbye to the NBA, I'm excited about what the future holds for me. When people ask what I believe my legacy is, it's not my feats on the court that come to mind, nor the awards or praise, because my story has always been more than basketball. My legacy, my son, is in you. I will forever continue through you, because the time has come for you to carry this torch. So Kai, chase your dreams. Let nothing hold you back. Let nothing intervene.
My goodness. Oh my God. Oh. I think I almost shed a tear myself. Wow. That was a lot. That was a lot. You know what I loved about it? Like, he didn't make it all about himself either. It was almost like he passed on the torch to his son all in that same video. But Carmelo, he's a legend, dude. He's a legend. Yeah, is he a Hall of Famer, though? Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Absolutely. I mean, this is I'm emotional for a oh my God, I didn't wear waterproof mascara today. Hold on a second.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
This is emotional for me for a multitude of reasons. I mean, when Kobe retired, God rest his soul, like, it was very hard for me. I make no secret, Kobe, AI were the reasons I fell in love with the game of basketball. And Carmelo is also up there for me. He's one of my all-time favorite players for a very long time, my favorite player. He's, Brooklyn born. He played for the Knicks, went to Syracuse, won Syracuse a national championship, brought the Knicks out of the dark ages, if you will. We didn't win with him, but we won in so many other aspects. We were back on a national platform. What Carmelo meant for the New York Knicks, the city of New York, was just huge. And I mean, watching that, I remember when Kyan was a baby and he would be at the games, mostly when Melo was a Denver Nugget, but he was still such a young kid when, Melo was playing for the Knicks, and to see that torch being passed to him and see so much of Carmelo's face in him in that still shot when he's watching his dad's highlights was, it was really, really sad. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's also sad. I wish that Carmelo was able to go out a little bit differently. I still think that, he didn't get a fair shot towards the end of his career in the NBA. But I mean, absolutely a Hall of Famer. I mean, just to read off some of the accolades that he has for people who are unfamiliar. I mean, let's just talk about 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 3-time gold medalist, scoring champion, NBA 75th anniversary team. I mean, Melo is, by definition, a Hall of Famer. It was a privilege being able to watch his career from the beginning to the end. Forever a fan, and this is a really, really sad. I was not emotionally prepared for this at all. They came out of left field, this video, but it was a beautiful, beautiful way to say goodbye to the game. And I haven't shed a tear like that since I saw, remember Kobe when he did Dear Basketball?
Oh man, that was a lot too.
Oh my God. Can we just do the regular retirements? Like, I'm out. Like, they can't, the videos, I can't do it.
It was well put together. Now, you mentioned all those accolades, right? Carmelo Anthony, not to mention 9th all-time on the scoring list as well. So absolutely a legend. You mentioned that he went to Syracuse. When I was a kid, I had the Syracuse Carmelo Anthony jersey. I had the Denver Nuggets Carmelo Anthony jersey. I wish I had gotten the Knicks, Carmelo Anthony jersey. But of course, I'm a Heat fan, and I was a Heat fan growing up. So I don't know if I could sport the Knicks jersey. But Carmelo Anthony, legend, honestly. Do you think they'll retire? I mean, on that point, do you think they'll retire all of his numbers?
They should. I mean, listen, I know that usually it's for guys who bring championships to the city, but I think that, when it comes to Carmelo, he brought so much more. Not so much more. He brought something different to the city of New York. Like I said, he made the team relevant again. For a very long time, nobody was talking about the Knicks. Carmelo got that. And when Stoudemire was there, yes, but it took Carmelo to really push it over the edge. And I remember his first game in the Garden when they announced him, and the lights in the Garden went dim and it was black and blue and orange lights everywhere, and they started playing I'm Coming Home. And it was really cool. I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about it, because I know Baltimore claims him and he is a Baltimore kid, but Brooklyn had him first. So it was really dope for him to come back and come full circle to the city of New York where, it first began for him. And just thinking about that moment gives me chills. It was dope, but absolutely they should retire it. Carmelo did a lot for the New York Knicks, and if I had a vote, he would get my vote to hang it in the rafters for sure, and also in Denver. Yeah.
Now, if you remember from the I Am Athlete episode with Paul Pierce, he said that Carmelo Anthony was the toughest person he ever guarded. I mean, that says a lot coming from Paul Pierce. Carmelo Anthony, he's that dude. He's that dude, man. It was a wonderful career. I mean, to your point, we wish we could have seen a couple more years from him. I feel like he probably has some more in the tank. He probably feels that he has some more in the tank, but it was just time. And like we saw in that video, it's time to pass the torch on, to the younger generation. His son, I'm interested to see what his son does.
Kyan
He's
is
good.
Dope, man. Yeah. Kyan is just like everything that was fantastic about Melo, but better. I mean, and it's cool because you see it with, Bronny, you see it with Bryce. I mean, I know everyone's on the Bronny train right now, but Bryce is a monster. But with Kyan, it's cool to see this next generation of athletes who have these, famous fathers. It's cool because they get the DNA of their father, but also they get the cheat code of learning from their mistakes. So they're a better version of their father. Like, I believe that Bronny and Bryce can be better versions of their father because their father will go ahead and not only hand them the things he's done right, but the things that he's done wrong. Same thing with Kyan. That's what you want for your kids, is them to be a better version of you. So it's really cool seeing Kyan play. And, when I have kids one day, that'll be their Carmelo. It'll be cool. Absolutely. It's cool kind of to see that full circle moment. So.
Yo, on that note, I didn't think I was going to say it, but now I got to say it. You said Carmelo, when you tell your kids, you're going to tell your kids about Carmelo Anthony. My firstborn son will be named Carmelo Anthony.
Wait. Carmelo Anthony? Where are you getting the last name
Carmelo,
Anthony from?
Excuse me.
Oh, I was like, where are you getting? Is your last name Anthony? I was like,
Anthony will not
when did that happen?
Anthony will not be his middle name, but his first name will be Carmelo. And
Really?
And half of it is because I like the name Carmelo. My name's Corey, it's a C and whatnot. But Carmelo Anthony.
No, Carmelo's a dope name though.
He's a dog, man. He's a dog. He's one of my favorites.
My son's name's gonna be basketball related too, but I'm not gonna share it because I don't want someone to steal it.
Future wife, you just know that my firstborn son is gonna be Carmelo. So that's that, right? But moving on, man. Carmelo Anthony, congratulations on an incredible career. We love you, and we'll see what's next, man. I'm really excited to see what happens with.
Did you cry when D Wade retired?
When D-Wade retired, it was an emotional moment.
Little thug tear?
It was an emotional moment, but...
I don't feel like his retirement was sad, though, because he was still playing.
Right.
And he had his goodbye tour. And I just don't feel like it came out of like, I don't know, it wasn't like Kobe's was sad with that Dear Basketball tribute, and this is sad. I mean, would you feel like D Wade's was sad?
I don't know. I feel like it might not like resonate or sit with me as much as just, as the Carmelo Anthony retirement did. Again, emotional moment. I mean, he's a Heat legend, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's a Heat legend. It was sad to see him, like, go to a different team outside of the Heat. I thought he was going to retire. Yeah, I thought he was
That was very sad,
Miami.
yes.
And then, of course, it was cool that he went back and played for his hometown team, played for the Chicago.
That wasn't cool.
Well, it wasn't?
There was nothing cool about that whole era.
I mean, I guess him just signing with the Chicago Bulls, the idea of him signing with the Chicago Bulls was cool. And then, of course, I think he had like a short stint in Cleveland.
Yeah, none of that was
just
cool
to reunite with LeBron. Like, you should have just stayed. You should have just stayed.
No, I mean,
Miami.
he wanted to. The story was him and Pat Riley weren't on good terms, and they were bumming it. But it's just like,
I wish they would have resolved
none
that.
of that was cool to me.
Yeah, I wish they would have resolved that. Well, speaking of the Miami Heat, they got it done last night.
Sure did.
My goodness, the Boston Celtics have now fallen into an 0-3 hole to the Heat. Do you remember what the odds were for the Heat
3%.
to make it to the finals? Yeah, it was 3%. That was before Game 1. And then after they won Game 1, I think they only bumped it up to, 13%? They bumped it up to 13%, and then after Game 2...
I know that after last night's game, the Boston Celtics are still, I believe, 78% favored to go to the finals, which is...
What?
Which is insane. You said
after last night?
After last night's, I think it's called the BPI, if I'm getting that correct, still has them at, I believe, 78. Let's do a range, 75 to 78. Woo, you can fact check me.
Yeah, I'm saying,
NBA Central put out the screenshot last night. I don't know who's doing the math, but they're just as bad at math as I am, because that's insane.
The odds are probably greater for them to get swept. Like I want. What are those numbers? What are the numbers for the Celtics to get swept? I don't
know.
Let me take my bias out of this. What did you see from the game last night?
In terms of Miami or in terms of Boston?
I really want to talk about Boston because the Heat. We know the Heat as being a consistent team, right? They're going to give you, good defense, good effort on that end of the floor, and then you're going to get, 15 to 20 points from one of the role players. You're going to get, what's crazy was that last night, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo didn't even need to do anything. I think Jimmy Butler finished with like 16 points, Bam finished with 14 points. And it was the others, was Gabe Vincent, right? He had 29 points in last night's game. But yeah, what did you see from the Celtics side?
A few things. Mazzulla, no shade, but he's just out of his range when it comes to coaching against Eric Spoelstra. It's just a complete mismatch. I know the joke is that he says that he watches The Town 4 times a week. He probably should have been watching a little bit more film. Right. It's just the locker room, those guys do not respond to him. For whatever reason, something has transpired from the regular season to this point that he has lost the locker room. But I can't even put that loss on him completely last night. Jason and Jalen just don't look like superstars. They don't look like a tandem that has been so powerful and successful during the regular season. They look like guys who have just started playing with each other. They also, at moments, look like guys who don't even like each other. The team just looks like a team that has no familiarity with each other whatsoever. I'm not quite sure. Teams lose. Teams that are supposed to be top seed or top seeded teams lose in the playoffs all the time. Look at the Milwaukee Bucks. Your Miami Heat took them out, right? I'm not so concerned with the fact that Boston is losing. I'm concerned with how they're losing. This is a team that was a top seed in their conference the entire season. Yeah. This is a team that at one point was the top seed in their conference. To see them implode like this is astronomically alarming. You don't even see a fragment of the team that was rocking and rolling during the regular season. You don't even see a fragment of a team. I would have more respect for this Boston team if it was much more like the 76ers series or the Atlanta series, where it's like they're going back and forth. There's some fight there. You know what I mean? It's just like they don't care. It's just they have lost any will to compete. And I think that's what the most alarming thing is you can always put forth effort, and I just don't see the effort from them anymore. And that's the concerning thing.
Yeah, it was a lack thereof of simply that, just effort last night. The Heat, first number 8 seed, right, to beat beat anybody by 25 plus points. First 8 seed to ever win a playoff game by 25 plus points. Heat continue to make history. Do the Celtics? Do you see them winning Game 4? Like, I mean, because they have to in order to keep their season alive. Do you see them coming out with a win in 4?
I think the series is over, but I do think they win in 4 just because I think there's a semblance of pride left there. I think, Jaylen Brown, they asked him, what the situation was, how he felt about it. He said, this is embarrassing. I don't see them allowing themselves to get swept. Not because I think that they have a chance to win the series, just because it's a pride thing. Yeah. But it's alarming that a team that was so good and so well functioning during the regular season is just a drastic. I mean, they look like a play-in team.
Yeah, right.
The roles look reversed. It looks like Miami was the top seed, right. And Boston was the play-in team that really shouldn't be there, but they're there, just because of the way the play, just by Cinderella story. Like, it just does not. This does not look like a dominant basketball team, and it's such a drastic fall off, not only from the regular season, but from the team we saw last year. Right. And you also have to bring into the fact that the only thing that has changed is their head coach. Again, not putting it all on Mazzulla, but for some reason, the connect between him and the guys in that locker room at some point in the equation had that relationship, that connection's not there. And I don't know if there's enough time to fix that. And his post-game conference, where he says, look, it's my fault. I didn't have those guys prepared. And they asked him, do you think you lost this locker room? And he gave that quote. And it's, once you lose the locker room, it's kind of hard to get that back.
It is.
And I'm not quite sure why he lost it, but there's something that's not connecting there. And I don't know what it is. I don't.
Game 4 tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. There's another team, though, that's facing, potentially getting swept, right? And that's the Los Angeles Lakers. This past weekend, we saw the Nuggets go up 3-0 in L.A. Game 4 tonight at 8:30 p.m. But game 3 on Saturday, the Nuggets took that one 119-108, right? I mean, at this point, we asked the question, is it over for the Celtics? But, the Lakers find themselves in that same position. Are they in trouble? Are they, do they have a chance of getting sent home tonight? That's my question to you right now, Ashley.
Yes. It's another team that I just don't feel like. I think the Lakers are a little bit, I'm going to give the Lakers a little bit more credit than I'm going to give Boston. Okay. Because they're competing. They're just getting outplayed. Yeah. It's not like the effort's not there. You at least see the effort for the Los Angeles Lakers. Right. It just hasn't been enough. But it's not that they aren't trying. I just think Denver is just a dominant, just unstoppable. Jokic is just a beat. That's just a really, really good basketball team.
They're a deep team, yeah.
And Brandon Marshall, I know you ducking the smoke right now. When you get back, you owe Jamal Murray an apology, because I sat here. Me and Corey said that Jamal Murray was elite. And you said Jamal Murray was elite? He hasn't done anything since the bubble. We said, hey, he's been injured. That's not a fair assessment to make. You said, he's not elite. He's elite. And he's playing elite.
Yeah, can we talk about his last 3 games?
Can we talk about Jamal Murray?
His last 3 games, Game 1 against the Lakers, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Game 2, 37 points, 10 rebounds as a guard, 5 assists. And then what does he do? He drops another 37-piece, right? Like, and then adds another 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He's playing at a high level. And that's what, makes this a Denver team dangerous, because you got Jokic, who's obviously a 2-time MVP. He's playing like it, this year. And then you got Jamal Murray. And that's not to mention all of the others, right? Aaron Gordon. You talk about Michael Porter Jr., who had a great game from 3 this past game. I want to say, what did he shoot? Let me see what his stats was. He was 4 from 10 from 3. So he was shooting well. And then you got a guy like Bruce Brown, who's also been huge in the playoffs for him. So, and he's coming off the bench. We talk about depth and whatnot. The Denver Nuggets, they're a complete team. Now, I wanted to ask the question too, right? Who has a greater chance that you think getting swept, though, the Lakers or the Celtics?
I would say the Celtics, just because, again, the Lakers at least give you effort. And I think that eventually, there's a saying, I forget who said it, so I'm not going to quote it exactly, but I will say that there was a quote somebody once said that the basketball gods reward effort. Mm-hmm. I think that eventually it goes in your favor. I think if it's going to go in their favor, it's going to be in Game 4 at home in LA. Mm-hmm. Will it make a difference in the series? No, I still think it's over. There's no way they're winning 4 in a row against this Denver Nuggets team. What's up, Lou?
I just want to add this in. So it took me a little while to find the BPI. But they have percentages on here. So it kind of counteracts what you just said. Right now they have the Nuggets, 96% chance to go to the final. And the Heat, I believe,
Oh, they switched it. Last night that was not the case.
Now that makes sense.
They switched
Put some respect on the Heat's name.
We got the screenshot, ESPN. Don't try to play it. We have the screenshot.
Celtics are 25?
Yeah. So they still have a higher chance than they still have a
wow. And they're on the road too. Oh, well, I mean, I'm talking about their current situation. I mean, they're both in bad situations if we're being honest. But interesting. I mean, LeBron James though, like you got to imagine he's going to have a big game tonight, right? Like
he has to. I mean, listen, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, LeBron, all of them. That starting 5 is pivotal in making sure that they're able to go ahead and win this game. Because here's the thing, the starting 5 of the Denver Nuggets is proven and they're strong. And this is one of the things that I was talking about with Brandon, is that at this point they're not going deep into their bench, right? They're playing a 7-man rotation. So they're really only playing 2 bench players. But that makes all the difference, and it also makes all the difference when you have a supporting cast, a strong starting 5. The Lakers don't have as strong a starting 5 as the Denver Nuggets. They have some bench players who can go ahead and get hot.
Right.
But the thing is that's very up and down. It can be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3, but you can't rely on that. You have to rely on your starters always. The bench is just an additional add-on to your success. The problem is that the bench, the starting 5 hasn't been holding their weight. Austin Reeves' starting 5 has been great in this series. You had Hachimura, who's had nice showings. Lonnie Walker, I think, has been pretty quiet this series. D'Angelo Russell's been quiet. He's in the starting 5. LeBron's been terrible from the three-point line. He hasn't been that great this series. He hit his first three-pointer in the series last game.
Right, in game 3.
Anthony Davis, I feel like, has probably been the most consistent player, but it's just not enough.
The guy we question if he can be consistent.
The guy that we question if he can be consistent has really been the only consistent part of this series, which is that's a different conversation. But listen, I don't know what else Darvin Ham can do. I mean, I feel like he's tried to put everybody except Jesus on Jokic, and it's not working. I just think that his bag of tricks is what's the word I'm looking at? It's starting to get empty. You know, his bag of tricks. The well is running dry. He's starting to hit the bottom of the barrel here, and it's really just going to take an astronomical game from the starting 5 of the Lakers and some bench support to go ahead and beat the Nuggets. I say they get it done, but I think it ends at 5 in Denver.
Yeah. Well, you know what conversation's starting to come up?
What?
And we've had this conversation, earlier on paper route, right? Kyrie Irving.
Uh-oh.
Is Kyrie Irving the answer in LA, right? Like, because he's going to become a free agent this offseason. He wants to reunite with LeBron James. LeBron James is getting a little older.
He's been at those games.
Yeah, and one of our production meetings, I was telling somebody, like, he hasn't scored over 30. He's had a 30-point game in the playoffs this year, but he hasn't scored more than 30 points. I mean, LeBron James, we're used to seeing at sometimes back-to-back 40-point nights in one series, right? But yeah, I mean, this here, can the Lakers get Kyrie Irving and also retain a guy like Austin Reeves? That's a question, that has, come up as well. What are your thoughts on that, though? Do you think the Kyrie Irving trade can happen? Can they retain somebody, guy like Austin Reeves? And do you think that would be the answer to everything in LA?
They better, because LeBron James and Kyrie Irving with no support is not enough.
Right, I know. It'll be his sons all over again, right?
It's just not enough. So if you can go ahead and maintain a nice supporting cast, and Austin Reeves is a guy that you can depend on and has proven to be a guy you can depend on not only in the regular season, but also when it counts the most in the playoffs. Sure, I don't see how money-wise you can do that, because Austin Reeves is setting himself up for a very nice payday. And Kyrie Irving makes a certain amount of money, and he's going to want that certain amount of money. Right. I don't see how you can go ahead and keep both. But if they're able to do so, I think they'll have a nice squad. That's a big question mark, though. Is can they do so?
I know. Well, because the question, on that tweet was, can they retain Austin Reeves? But I feel like what's gotten them to the point that they've gotten to has been guys like Vanderbilt. It's been guys like Rui Hachimura.
But doesn't Kyrie want a max?
Yeah, does he?
I thought there were reports at one point that he wanted a max.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm him, I'd want a ring right now. I would hope that he would be able to kind of, do you
want a ring and a max, or you just right.
I know. But yeah, we're talking about Kyrie Irving. So I mean, we're not sure. I mean, I'm not sure. We'll see. But if he wants a ring, it'd be in his best interest, kind of take a pay cut, join the Lakers, and see if they can retain as much as they can.
You think you think Kyrie Irving's gonna take a pay cut?
But it's like at this point in his career, it's like, come on.
Do you realistically think Kyrie Irving's gonna take a pay cut?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, with everything that's happening with Nike right now, he probably would want the most he can get out of an NBA contract, huh?
And I think, if you had to pick, if you're the Lakers and you could only have one, are you taking Kyrie or are you taking Austin Reeves?
I mean, if you ask me, I'm taking Kyrie. But that's what I'm saying. You got to be able to retain guys like Rui Hachimura, Vanderbilt.
You can't keep everyone,
Lonnie Walker.
You can't keep everyone, especially if you're going to go ahead and Kyrie wants that max. You can't keep everyone. And that's the hard part about trying to go ahead and build a team that's built to win right away, is you can't keep everyone. And sometimes those additional factors are key factors in making sure that you can win. You can't keep everyone.
What's Kyrie Irving's options, though, outside the Lakers?
Dallas.
Staying in Dallas?
He could stay in Dallas. I'm sure they would love to keep him.
Over the weekend, I have heard rumors about DeAndre Ayton potentially going there to Dallas. You think that'd be a good fit?
I think that'd be, yeah. I wouldn't mind DeAndre Ayton in Dallas. I feel like that'd be an interesting play for him. But I don't think that he's the only answer. I think Dallas needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, him and who?
Right, that'd be the next question, right? You acquire a guy like DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, they need more pieces. Hopefully they.
It's interesting. The chat, okay, chat. Listen, we're almost time for DeAndre Hopkins. Don't worry. I know y'all are excited. You see him behind me. He is coming. Mm-hmm. But I'm interested to see what you guys would rather do. If you had a choice, you're the GM of the Los Angeles Lakers, and you can only have one. Would you keep Austin Reeves? Or would you take Kyrie Irving and lose Reeves? You can only have one. Go ahead and drop in the chat the name of the player you'd rather have, Kyrie Irving or Austin Reeves. I'm interested to see what the chat says, because I'm seeing I'm seeing a lot of Reeves and not that many Kyrie. So I'm kind of interested.
I want to see a reunion of LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. Before it's all said and done.
Sure, but what good is that if they don't win?
I hope. Well, yeah, I know. Well, how about I hope LeBron James.
We got one guy that says, "Nah, I'm keeping Austin." Another guy says, "Nope, keeping Austin." Brandon says, "Take Kyrie Irving and move Reeves." We got Austin, Kyrie. Big Daddy says, "Keep Austin Reeves."
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Austin
says,
Reeves.
"Kyrie." I'm seeing Austin Reeves. Kyrie, no question. Reeves, Kyrie, keep Austin. Lots of Austin Reeves.
I'm surprised there's not more Kyries. You don't want Kyrie?
That's interesting.
Why? Is it because of how this last season went in Dallas? He was playing at a high level. It's not like he wasn't doing his thing.
Kyrie is box office. Reeves is flash in a pan.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that.
I guess Kyrie, but I'm not giving him the max, though. Okay.
That's my thing. I just wish they could probably negotiate something where Kyrie would just be comfortable with what they're paying him, but they can keep everything, that they have.
Someone said Austin Reeves because you can't rely on Kyrie's availability.
We're out of the pandemic now. We're out of the pandemic now. He stayed healthy for the most part.
Okay, but Brooklyn, he wasn't suspended last season for the pandemic.
But he wasn't out for injuries or anything like that, was he?
He was out for his Twitter for the anti-Semitic stuff.
Yeah. You're right. I guess stand corrected.
Kyrie cost a lot, but he needs to get his shit together.
Yeah, right. It's just a lot of baggage.
Imagine picking Austin Reeves over Kyrie Irving. You guys are nuts. Grab Dylan Brooks. He's not. Okay, that's out of nowhere.
Did they say Dylan Brooks?
Someone say Dylan Brooks.
Not Dylan
They
Brooks.
already have good chemistry with Reeves. Reeves will be great, but clock is ticking on Bron. Gotta take Kyrie.
Understandable.
That's understandable. LeBron's not getting any younger.
Yeah. I know. We might need somebody in addition to them too.
Brandon Marshall just walked into the building just in time to go ahead and issue an apology to Jamal Murray. Everyone clap it up for Brandon Marshall.
Yes, right on time.
Brandon Marshall
Absolutely
in the
right on
building
time.
just in time to go ahead and issue
Why would you
an
do that?
apology to not only the Denver Nuggets, but also
Yep.
Jamal Murray. Just say, I'm sorry, Jamal.
We don't have- we don't have time.
Just say, I'm sorry, Jamal.
We don't have time.
Right there.
D-Hop is waiting for us.
Say, I'm sorry, Jamal. The fans want you to want an apology for Jamal Murray.
Listen. Here's what I would say. I didn't say he wasn't good. What I said was he disappeared since the bubble.
Okay.
You're right? Like, look, he's in his bag right now. He's playing
definitely
phenomenal
showed up.
basketball, so I'm going to give you your flowers. You did a phenomenal job. You overcame adversity. You overcame obstacles.
That he did.
Right? And he's playing at an extremely high level. Salute to your boy. Absolutely. I'll give him that.
Say, I'm sorry, Jamal.
I can't do that.
Say, I'm
'Cause not
sorry,
serious. I didn't say
Jamal.
anything wrong.
We need a word for word.
I didn't say anything wrong.
We and the fans in the chat need it word for word. I am sorry, Jamal Murray, for saying that you were not that guy.
No, I can't say it.
Brandon, what did we learn in therapy? How to apologize. Say, I'm
But
sorry,
why am
Jamal
I apologizing?
Murray.
He was in the bubble in 2020. He was the best player in the
He
bubble.
was injured after that bubble.
So just the same discussion we had before you walked in the studio earlier, Ashley. How long does it take to recover from a ACL? I saw Adrian Peterson return from an ACL in 6 months and go for 2,000 yards. Jamal Murray, it took him 2 years.
Okay, so
now.
what
The comparison there is just crazy.
we're getting at is you're not going to give Jamal Murray his apology.
I'm gonna give him his flowers. He's playing
No.
phenomenal
We're not
basketball.
giving flowers. The fans want an apology. Say, I'm sorry, Jamal Murray, for questioning your skill set.
I'm sorry, Jamal Murray, for questioning the 2 years that, it took you to recover from your ACL. You're playing phenomenal basketball right now. But another person, is D-Hop ready? I don't know. Manderville, where are we at?
See where he's
So we're
at.
still setting up. So we have time to continue to talk about
Don't
this.
worry, Jamal. I'm gonna get you your apology.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
can
It's
you
gonna
give me
come.
my glasses?
Don't
out
worry,
of
Nuggets
Coach
fans.
Troy's glass
I'm gonna get
office?
you your apology.
Yeah.
He is not gonna sidestep this apology.
Yep. Okay.
We're gonna get this before the series is over.
Absolutely.
Because
Let's see.
you are owed one. Jamal, you are owed one.
you need-
Denver, you are owed one. Okay?
Yeah, because you got to look at, again, his stats. I read them off, while you were off air, Brandon. 37, 37, 31. That's just in the Western Conference Finals. We go back to what he's just been throughout the playoffs, and it's everything that we've been, that we saw in the bubble. So when he gets the opportunity, he's proven that he's going to play at really an all-pro level. That's what he's proven at this point. We're talking about against the Los Angeles Lakers, who were able to shut down Steph Curry.
Hold on. Are we good to go with D-Hop or not? Because I got PTSD. Because we had Sauce scheduled last Monday, and there were some technical difficulties, not on our side. Our team is doing a phenomenal job. Manderville, Wu, BC, JP, everyone. Should I take out this? This is not proper. I don't think they taught you this in journalism school.
What is that?
It was a hall. It was a mint.
Oh.
But are we good to go? Let me see. Your guys with him doing the setup. We're good. Just logging in. Manderville, please, somebody talk to me. Like, can I get an ETA on D-Hop? Can we get an ETA on D-Hop? He retweeted us today. He reposted us today.
You'll probably get him quicker if you apologize to Jamal Murray.
What? Ashley, why am I apologizing? Hold on. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with our people. Mm-hmm. So boom, we got a whole group chat, and I'm like, yo, here's the rundown for the week, right? Because Ashley, I'm gonna be honest too with this. Sometimes she be leaving me on the island with booking guests. And so, like, boom, this weekend I'm like, you come on, am I lying? So this weekend I'm like,
not a booker, but I don't think
I'm not.
Last time I checked.
So anyways, I sent out like, yo, we have like these huge opportunities this week. And Ashley's like, well, what about basketball? She said, well, since we last met, there were so many games played. There's so much that happened. you were more excited to talk about basketball than sit down with all these other potential guests.
That's not true. I just said that I like when Stat comes on, especially after NBA, eventful NBA weekend, and just asked if there was a way we were going to have both on the show. That's all I asked. What was wrong with that?
Why do you want me to apologize?
Because you sat on this set and you said that Jamal Murray was an elite and he hasn't done anything since the bubble. And when we explained to you that's because he's been injured, you still said he's not that guy. Now he's playing against the Lakers, who you said were going to go to the finals, who are not going to the finals, by the way. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there.
Is it over yet?
It's over. That's not happening. And you still won't offer this man an apology. Now I'm just concerned, and I just don't understand why. That's all. I just want an explanation.
All right, let's be clear here. Okay. Was the criticism necessary? I stole this from Shaq. Was it necessary? Was it real?
It was wrong.
How was it wrong?
It was so wrong.
Listen, tell me this. He's playing phenomenal basketball right now. The last 6 games, I would say. Phenomenal. We're talking about at an elite level. I'm not talking about just being good, just being wide open and knocking down a shot. I'm talking about creating his own shot, playing big in clutch moments, playing big down the stretch. That's only been 6 games maybe, right?
Wrong.
At elite level. At elite level.
Talk to him,
consistently.
Corey.
So here's what I want to say. So
where are you getting these numbers from?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Tell me in a season. Season where we talked about Jamal Murray this season, where it was like, yo, Jamal Murray is on like a rage right now. He's on a streak right now. Tell me,
Brandon,
was it in January? Was it in February? Was it in March? I remember talking about Dame Lillard. I remember talking about Steph Curry. I remember talking about Giannis and Embiid. I even remember talking a little bit about James Harden. I don't remember talking about Jamal Murray in the season. Help me out, Ashley.
Are you being for real right now?
You want to get out on?
Are you Corey? Go ahead, Brandon. Are you being serious right now? Ashley. Are you being serious? Are you being funny? Or are you being serious? Because if you're being funny, I'll joke around with you. But if you're being dead serious, I'm very concerned.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, are you being for real?
Let me slow down, take the emotion out of it, because when I get emotional, that's when I lose people. Okay. We got DHop. So we have DHop here. So good. Now I can get out of this situation.
You got saved by DHop because you were about to get cooked. Wow, you were about to get cooked.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to an absolute icon in the world of football, none other than the remarkable Deandre Hopkins. We've been waiting on our guy. I want to know why he said, you can't come into my residence at 11:30, but you can at 12. He said, this is when you can come set up. We sent a whole crew to DHop's space to set up this beautiful shot, beautiful sound. But this man right here embodies greatness, both on and off the field. And I couldn't be more thrilled to share and shed a light on his extraordinary journey. When it comes to football, Deandre Hopkins is a true maestro. His skills are unparalleled. His moves are electrifying, from jaw-dropping catches to lightning-fast speed. But what sets him apart is the unwavering commitment to making a positive impact. Hopkins is a force of change, a philanthropist, using his platform to uplift communities, champion education, and fighting for social justice. He's a visionary, Ashley, okay? He's a game changer in every sense of the word. And let's not forget his entrepreneur spirit. Do you know this dude is an entrepreneur and he's a huge investor? Hell, I don't know what he's invested in, but I know he's invested in a lot because has a lot of money. I don't know if you ask it. Deandre Hopkins knows the hustle, how to build a brand, and how to create opportunities. He's breaking boundaries and breaking through barriers, and he's showing us that success extends beyond the game. This man is a true inspiration and icon and defies expectations and blazes his own trail. So ladies and gentlemen, get ready to witness the brilliance of DeAndre Hopkins. His story is one of perseverance, his talent in making a difference. Am I going good?
Oh my God.
From dominating the football field to creating positive change, Hopkins exemplifies what it means to be a true legend. It's an honor to have him in our presence, and I guarantee you guys will be captivated by his greatness. Sit back, and soak it in. Prepare to be inspired, DeAndre Hopkins. How did I do?
That was beautiful,
hey, man. You did awesome. That was amazing. I think you need to think about transitioning to the movie world one day, man. That was brilliant, bro.
See, Ashley. Now,
DHop, listen, huge fan, but all I know, when you go into the Hall of Fame, you know who needs to give your speech, because that was a lot. That was heavy. I feel like we needed like a score from the Titanic in the background or something. Like that was a lot.
Hey, DHop, when I was preparing this before the show, Ashley's like, "What are you doing?"
I was like, "You're laying it on a little bit thick, my guy. Just a tad thick. That's
Nah. Thank you, bro. Thank you, and your honors as well, B. I grew up watching you. Everything you do from what you've built. It's an honor to be on this show. So thank you for doing everything you've done.
No, I appreciate it, bro. You're one of those guys. I called you the maestro in my long introduction. I think part of your greatness is that you know when to pop out. You don't bless people with your presence often, right? Why is that? Why do you like to be behind the scenes?
I just like being able to control my energy and what's around me. I grew up in a small household. I grew up in South Carolina. So for me, being around, that small element of family and that, just people who I know are in the inner circle. I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like I need to necessarily spread my wings and do certain things. That I don't feel true to me. So obviously, man, I've been invited on a lot of shows to do a lot of things, and I just felt, my mom, she always preaches, give your presence where it's needed, and not where it's wanted. So I feel like, you doing what you do and inspiring other people, I feel like this is a needed place.
I appreciate that.
I love that. I feel that too, because I'm like, well, obviously not in the same aspect, but I'm like that too. I think energy transfer is such a real thing. And I think protecting your energy is just so important, and you can't do that if you're just everywhere with everyone. And I think that just protecting that sacred space of your energy and your being is just so important. So I completely connect with that, and I love that.
Right. This is awesome. Great opportunity for us. Brandon Marshall here, Ashley Nicole Moss, Corey Holmes in the cut, and we have DeAndre Hopkins. This is Faction Talk Series XM Channel 103, and then also on YouTube. Bro,
before you start, Brandon, I got very excited when DHop hopped on the camera, because at quick glance, it looked like he was wearing a Cowboys hat. But it's not a Cowboys hat.
Right.
After it hit the light a certain angle, I was like, that's not what I thought it was. And I immediately got sad. So there was a moment where I was like, it's happening. We're here.
Mm-hmm. This
is the announcement. Right, this is what he's doing. It's a subtle announcement, but I picked up on it, but it's not what I thought it was.
Are you breaking news on our show today? Is there something I need to know?
Hey, if I was, you would be one of the first people to know, B.
All right, so there's a lot that we want to talk about. I think we will revisit that, Ashley. Okay. But I want to start with OTAs. It's been a couple years since I played ball, but can you correct me if I'm wrong, DHop? That OTAs are happening right now. Are you there? Like, where are you right now? Are you at OTAs? Are you participating?
I'm in Toronto right now, training, working out. I'm getting some great work done up here. Getting the body examined. I'm trying to play long as I can. So, I did my research and studied some of the best people, that work on the human body. And Toronto has amazing people. So I'm up here right now, getting the body, examined to where I can go out and perform my best.
So how do you go ahead and pick? I mean, do you train in different places every season? Or do you go ahead and have a certain amount of places that you favor, and why do you favor those particular places?
So I have certain places and certain people that I favor, certain people that I've been working with for years. I've been working out with a guy named Dose Congo Gym in Houston for years.
Love him.
Just started working out with a guy named Mel Sanders in Dallas who does great. And so those two people right there, I would say are two people that I've been working with lately. But I don't try to go out and work with everybody, but I will give people opportunity. That's one thing about me. If it's a young trainer that's like, look, man, I got to work out. Would you come over here and help me out? Of course, because I'm all about trying to help out, the future and, people who are trying to get on that level to work out with people like Deandre. So I'm always open for new trainers and new ideas.
Well, speaking of training, there's been a lot of talk in the NFL world of where DHop will end up. And there was a video, I think it was your Instagram story or Instagram Live, something on Instagram, where you were training and it looked like you were in Arizona in some capacity and everyone got very excited. And Brandon here said you wouldn't be in AZ if you weren't going back to the Cardinals. I said maybe he just likes the weather in Arizona. It is fantastic weather. So what can you tell us about what that means, if it means anything at all?
I love Arizona. Working out in Arizona is, it's amazing. A lot of people work out there mainly because of the weather, and the living conditions are amazing as well. But Phoenix is home. Phoenix is, where I've been the last 3 years of my life. So, I enjoy being in Phoenix. Working out there, it has no emphasis other than, just that's where I am. That's where I live. So it's not, me going on a campaign, doing anything other than, just working out. And the guy who I work out with, name is Nick. I can't forget Nick at Exos, great trainer.
That's right. Yeah, and that's what Ashley was talking about. Obviously, you've been a huge topic in football and in sports over the last 3-4 months, right?
Like half a year, yeah.
From everything that we hear and everything that we're reading is that the Arizona Cardinals have been trying to trade you away, right? Shopping you since January, but it hasn't happened. They're saying that there could be potential contract holdups, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when we saw you in AZ, I looked at Ashley. She's like, oh, well, he's in AZ, so that means he's probably going to stay. I'm like, no, that's Exos. He's training with Nick. He's training with OBJ. He's training with Saquon.
You said that. I didn't say that.
Ashley, come on, Ashley.
That's not what I said. I said maybe he likes the weather, and Brandon said he wouldn't be in AZ if he wasn't going back to the Cardinals. Right. You said it backwards.
Can you walk us through this journey as an athlete, right, in the off season? Because a lot of us, when we come in, it's frowned upon when you're not there, and then it comes a point in your career, like year 5, year 6, where you're like, man, I could get better and I can do more if I'm actually at my facility with my trainer in the off season. So, is that where you're at in your career? Is that why you're not a part of OTAs right now?
Yeah, and I think you made a good point there. I advise all young athletes. I don't know how it is in NBA, but in NFL, to go to the voluntary stuff. Early in your career, even later in your career, if it makes sense for you. But for certain athletes, I feel like at a certain point and a certain level, they know their body, and there's not too much that they're going to get out of being at a facility when they could be somewhere like an I Am Athlete or Exos, working out with personal trainers and people who know their body just as good as those people at the facilities. The NFL hire great trainers, but at a certain year and a certain level of your career, I do think that going with who knows your body the best is what's going to benefit you and give you the best return. So do that. I always see a lot of people, get the concept, very, very wrong of people not being there when it's voluntary work. It's not that they're not there. I still hang out with the guys. I still talk with the guys. I'm still trying to build chemistry with the guys, even though I'm not at that facility.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, we spoke about this a little bit during the Lamar Jackson saga, and, Brandon and I went back and forth about this. First of all, Cardinal fans want you back in Arizona. But I wonder, when you hear about you possibly being shopped around, what does that do for your relationship with that organization, with the front office? We already know how you feel about the guys. And if that situation were to work itself out, like it did with Lamar and Baltimore, does that make your relationship with them now fractured going back?
For me, no. I have no ego. This is a business. This is a professional sport. People have jobs to do. Obviously there's a new regime. There's new head coaches, new GMs. They come in and out every year on sports teams. So for me, understanding and knowing the business, I can't go into it with an ego. Hearing rumors of me being traded or shopped around, that does nothing for me far as making me feel some kind of way towards that team.
Have you heard of any of the teams that made the call? We heard the Patriots, like any other teams that reached out to the Patriots that you're aware of? I mean, the Cardinals, excuse me.
Of course, yeah. I've heard a lot of rumors and of people calling. I would definitely say the Patriots are one of the teams. Obviously, I would say the Bills are one of those teams that I heard. I didn't have direct conversation or but just seeing, what's on Twitter, what's on Instagram, you got to pay attention to some of those things. What other team? Really, those are the only two teams that I paid attention to. That I was like, all right, let me see if social media is right.
How do you feel about blue and silver? Just out of curiosity.
He likes it.
You like that? Do you like that colorway? Do you feel like that's something you'd be comfortable wearing on Sundays, Mondays, and sometime Thursday?
I love no state tax is my favorite. So I still live in Houston, Texas. So
well, listen. Your name also got thrown into the mix during Lamar and that Baltimore saga again, and it was reported that you and Odell Beckham were two names that Lamar threw out there and said, if you guys want to make me happy and you want me back, this is what I want. He got Odell. The Baltimore Ravens reportedly said, we can't afford to get you both. In a perfect world, if you were able to make that situation work, would you? Would that be intriguing to you? Did you hear about Lamar's request?
I love Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is one of my favorite athletes, and since I've been watching sports, I'm a sports fan. So I was watching Lamar when he played Clemson, my alumni, and I was like, who is this kid? So I've been a fan of Lamar for a long time. So obviously he's one of the greats, and I would be lying to sit here and say, it wouldn't be an honor one day, if my career allows me to play that long, to play with a great guy and a great quarterback like Lamar. Or, with Tom Brady, I was like, I want to play with a Tom Brady. I'm a receiver. Marsh, you know how it is. As
That's
a receiver,
right.
You want to play with some of the best quarterbacks, that's out there. And Lamar is obviously one of those.
Right. So we appreciate you gracing us with your presence and being patient with us, right? Because the world wants to hear from you. The football world wants to hear from you. So we're going to spend just a little bit more time on this talk because you don't talk much, right? So hopefully you don't get annoyed with us and all these questions regarding like your future. You just brought up quarterbacks. What are some of the quarterbacks out there? If you had a list, you say these are some dope quarterbacks that I would love to throw me the ball the second part of my career.
Oh, that's a good question. I would have to say one of my favorite quarterbacks that I've been watching since he came in the league is Josh Allen. Josh Allen, he reminds me of an old school or of a new school Andrew Luck. And I love Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. He's Houston kid, your dog, Jalen. Number 3, who I would love to have a ball thrown by. Patrick Mahomes, obviously.
Ooh,
Number 4, I'm gonna have to go with. I gotta go with the underdog, man. The people, not a lot of people respect this guy, but as a throwing quarterback, Lamar Jackson, obviously. And number 5, that's a good one. That's a good question. Number 5.
Dak Prescott?
I like Dak Prescott.
Any of these young rookie quarterbacks stand out to you? Do you want to catch a ball from a young player? Are you past that point in your career? Like some guys out there.
Yeah, I'm past that point in my career. But I heard that the quarterback we got from Houston is pretty good. I like him. My grandfather was sending me his highlights on YouTube. But my number 5 quarterback, man, because it's some good quarterbacks out there that's young and good. I'm gonna have to go with man, I'm gonna have to go with my dude at San Diego or the Chargers.
Herbert.
I'm gonna have to go
Justin
with
Herbert.
man.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna take the training wheels off of this so we can push the conversation forward. What the hell is happening in AZ? What do you want? Right? This is our opportunity just to have this conversation, you know, and just move forward. Like, where are you at in your career? And I'm gonna say this, right? I asked the New York Jets for my release. Don't trade me, just release me, right? I wanted to control my future, okay? And so when I did that, I sat down with a few family friends and a few family members and my agent. I said, okay, what am I looking for at this point in my career, right? I wanted a championship organization. And so what made this championship organization, DHop, was a good ownership, stability in management, a championship quarterback, a good defense, and another receiver on the other side, because I was like 32, 33, and I'm like, yo, if I can get a receiver on the other side, it's going to take pressure off of me, and I can still dominate and still do my thing and contribute at a high level. So for you, what is happening? What do you want? And what are you looking forward to?
What I want is stable management upstairs. I think that's something that I haven't really had, past couple years in my career, coming from Houston to being in Arizona. So I've been through 3 to 4 GMs in my career. So a stable management, a QB who loves the game, a QB who, brings everybody on board with him and pushes not just himself, but, people around him. I don't need a great QB. I've done it with subpar QBs, just a QB who loves the game like I do. And a great defense. I think defense wins championships. For me, I think that's the key. You got to have a great defense. You got to have a great D-line. And obviously, just like you said, you meet with people. I have a council of friends who are not just my friends, but they're my business managers as well. So we go in depth about these things, and that's why I love this process. I love this game. It teaches you a lot, and for me, that's it. Great management, QB who loves the game, and a great defense.
So out of those 3 things that you mentioned currently in Arizona, how many of them would you say exist?
This is Monty's first year as a GM, but from what I understand, and from me talking to Monty, I think that Arizona is in good hands. So I can't speak on much. He hasn't really been the GM longer, that much longer, other than this year. Obviously, he came from the Patriots, but I would say our defense in Arizona is good. We got Budda Baker, Isaiah Simmons.
Budda Baker asked for a trade, I thought.
He's still on the roster from what I know. So, until he's off the Arizona Cardinals,
DHop, I like to get messy, DHop. I'm getting messy.
So then you would say 2 out of the 3 it currently exists in Arizona.
Hell no.
No, I mean, you did the quarterback. I think Kyler is a quarterback who loves the game as well, but he's injured. So right now for me, I'm playing with Colt McCoy, who I love, but who knows? So right now, I don't currently have a Pro Bowl quarterback or a quarterback who, I would say could
Look at you.
He's trying.
That's my dog. I love him. Look at him. He's so cool.
He's trying. I'm sorry. I set you up with that one. I'm sorry.
Oh, my
fault. That was my bad.
And you know what? Here's the thing, though, Hop. This is what I would say, bro, because, as an active player, you have to be very very strategic in what you say, because they can take a little sound bite and it turns into another thing, right? It takes a life of its own. And so, I respect you for, being intentional with what you're saying, but the reality is, and I'll say this, and I don't know where you're at. We've never sat down and talked about your business or talked about football. But it's like, man, it comes a point in your career where it's like, man, I only have so many years left. right?
Very true.
And it's time for me to, accomplish those things that you're setting out to accomplish. And I don't know what that is for you. For me, I wanted to win the Super Bowl, and I still wanted to play at a high level. So, I'm excited for your future, bro. To me, I can't wait to see you back out there with the right stuff around you, because I want to see you back in that conversation of he's one of the best wide receivers out there. And I think a lot of people forget that, because the last 2 years, we haven't seen too much of you, right? And the situation hasn't been awesome around you. So I'm excited about that. Before we move on, Kyler, bro, why does everybody give Kyler Murray such a hard time? You even had Larry Fitzgerald come out and talk about a few things there. What I see is a guy that is just like he's electrifying, he can make mostly all of the throws. He's a human joystick, right? He is a little fiery, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but why are people giving Kyler such a tough time?
I think people give him a tough time because what you said, he's fiery. The dude is a competitor, a real competitor. I've never seen anything like it, and I love it. That's why him and I sometimes we butt heads, but it's love. It's like butting head with your brother. It's like both of y'all want to win, both of y'all want to compete, and you're mad as hell that you're not getting the job done. So for me, that's what it is, and I'm pretty sure that's why he get the stuff that he get, his body language or whatever people say, But Tom Brady go cuss out everybody on the sideline, throw whatever. And that's just that's Tom Brady, but Kyler do it, and it's the talking topic of everything. So right. I think for him he's misunderstood, but he's competitive. The dude like playing basketball. He want to beat you on shooting things in the trash can, ping pong, whatever. And for me, I love it. Like you said, him and I just haven't had much time to build that chemistry. In the past 2 years, I haven't been on the field, and I want to win a Super Bowl. He want to win Super Bowls. So I think when you got two competitive people like that, I'm pretty sure he was in a way, probably upset like, darn, I won't hop out here, and mad at me like, dang, big bro, we try and do this together. So, obviously, both of us are two competitive people, but Kyler probably, he's misunderstood because of that, because he's so competitive.
Last time I saw you was in LA at the Super Bowl, and it was around the time that Kyler Murray kind of scrubbed his Instagram and he was dealing with his own situation with the organization. And I asked you about it, and you weren't worried at all. You said, listen, I'm not worried about Kyler. They're going to figure that out. But I wonder, we're always talking about how the quarterback deals with this situation and how his emotions are when, going back with the front office and the GMs and the organization in general, trying to lock in a deal for themselves. But I feel like we never really talk about the team that he's responsible for leading on the field and what they know and, the kind of the emotional roller coaster they go through during this process. We think about Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets and Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens and Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. What does that do as a team, specifically for you as a player, when there's so much uncertainty about your quarterback going into the next season while he's unhappy and you're left kind of in the dark? Do you know more than, the rest of us? Or are you finding out as we learn?
I find out as you guys learn with most things. And I feel like that's how it is around the league. We don't like butting our heads into business. It's not ours, because each guy has individual things that they go through in their own counsel. So for myself, I don't really ask too many questions about what's going on outside of what I can control. And what I can control is going on that field and being Deandre Hopkins and making catches, making touchdowns, and making people happy. And that's what I'm the business I'm in of just trying to spread love through my craft, through whatever I do. And so for myself, that's my focus. But obviously, I love the knowledge that goes behind football, the GM business. And I learned that once I did my contract a couple of years ago. There's a lot more that goes on around just what you see on the headlines. And I'm pretty sure as an organization, dealing with certain players can be a headache, but that's what they sign up for. So gotta deal with it.
Listen, a contract you negotiated, by the way. I just want to put that out there since that was a hot topic a couple of months ago.
And Lamar.
With Lamar, just want to make sure that people know it has been done, and it has been done successfully. So go ahead and give you flowers for that one.
Yeah, what's the future, bro? If you can predict the future, what's DeAndre Hopkins' future look like? And we're talking about in the short term over the next 18 months.
Probably a sports team owner. I already own a women's professional football team called the Houston Mambas. And it's 11-on-11 real football, but another sports team owner in Australia. We can talk about it later, B. Marsh.
Okay.
And building a fashion brand over the next couple months. I plan to go to Italy and go and do some deep diving with my good friends over there. One of my best friends, my mentor, he started Golden Goose. His name's Silvio, and he took me under his wing a long time ago. So I think it's time to kind of build that brand and who DeAndre Hopkins is. So over the next 18 months, I plan on being a sports team owner and building a foundation work for my brand.
I mean, fashion, Brandon. Did you see DHop walk the runway?
I know. Corey.
Fear God show.
Like one of our partners and co-hosts on our show, our daily show. We have Corey here. Corey, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the fashion side of things.
Well, Ashley just said it, right? We saw you in the Fear of God fashion show not too long ago. Isn't that correct? How was that experience for you?
Man, that was amazing. That was a different level of feelings. Just being part of something where somebody created, and before you walk up there, he's looking at the finest thing he can see to make sure it's right. But man, it was a blessing. Jerry is creative. He's one of the best doing it. So thank you, Jerry, for allowing me to walk in the show. But I wish more athletes would definitely have the opportunity to do that, because we're in the fashion. We're the ones pushing the culture as well.
Now, I gotta ask though, DHop. Yeah, no. I gotta ask though, was that intentional? Was it intentional that the first brand that we saw you rock the runway in was Fear of God? We saw the viral video of you, of course, from way back when you was going at it with D'Angelo Hall. He told him, "I fear God." So I thought it was kind of ironic.
Only person I fear.
He said, "I fear God, boy." I thought that was kind of ironic that you did that with Fear of God.
It was very intentional, and I try to do things strategically like that. I could have walked some shows before, but Jerry is a guy that I've been talking to and building a relationship with outside of just fashion and sports. Just a friendship. So Jerry and I, we've been connected for a while, and we knew this day was coming.
Awesome. What's more nerve-wracking, running out of the tunnel for Sunday Night Football, or getting ready to walk the runway at LA Fashion Week?
Before you keep that on the back of your mind, we're gonna go to break, and then we're gonna come back and get your answer. Okay?
Saved by the bell.
It's saved by the bell. Such a good conversation. We'll get back to the conversation shortly, but first, I want to show some love to some of the partners that continue to fuel energy into our platform to keep conversations like this going. Amazon. Big shout out to Amazon. And when you think about Amazon, a lot of times you think about one or two services. You think about free shipping, you think about Amazon Prime. But the reality is Amazon is made up of a suite of services: Prime Fast, Prime Video, Amazon Music Prime, and free shipping. Prime is where you can go to pursue your passions. As a former professional athlete, I personally love all the sports documentaries, but I also spend a lot of time watching a lot of documentaries in film and production, because this is my new thing, and that's what I'm transitioning to. A lot of times when I'm driving home from shooting a couple episodes of I Am Athlete or Paper Route, I'm listening to Amazon Music Prime just to detach and relax and reset for the next day. Whatever your interests are, whether you love sports, whether you love fitness like I do, Prime allows you to get more out of your interests. That's what makes Prime so special. From shopping to streaming, whatever it is, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime. Whatever your interests are, you can find it there. That's Amazon.com/Amazon Prime.
We are back with DHop, Deandre Hopkins. I'm not going to give a whole sequilicky. Sequilicky, is that the word?
That's
I don't
right.
know. There you go, that Brandon Marshall gave. But I feel like that was a good intro. Now, before the break, I asked him what was more nerve-wracking, running out of the tunnel on Sunday Night Football with the bright lights or getting ready to walk the runway, which can be pretty long. I don't know if you guys have ever walked a runway. I have. Mm-hmm. They're pretty long, and it's very nerve-wracking. So, D-Hop, which one got your nerves rattled a little bit more?
The runway. The football game, I know what I'm doing, but the runway, that was different. And like you said, it's a lot that goes on before people see that show.
That's good. I actually did Rip the Runway. You guys probably too young to remember that. Y'all know what Rip the Runway was?
Of course. Come on. You know.
Ashley, do you know what it is?
I believe, if I'm remembering what it is, I think, wasn't it like when they got, like, it was during New York Fashion Week,
That's
right?
right.
And they
it
get
was
people.
BET.
BET used
Rip
to do
the
it. Yes.
Yeah,
How'd that experience go?
You know what? It was interesting for me because, like, there was a lot of naked women in the back.
They're models, so yeah.
I know, so I wasn't expecting that, and I was like, "Damn!" Like, you walk back there, and I'm like, "Don't look."
Oh my God,
D-Hop, I don't know if you experienced the same thing, but I did a great job. I stayed a professional. I didn't look, but they were just there, like boobs in your face, booty in your face.
I'm sure that was a very tough experience for you, Brandon. D-Hop, listen, in Europe coming up, in Paris, we have Men's Fashion Week coming up, or Fashion Month, as some people like to call it. What are some of the brands you're most excited, to see their new collections? Like, what are your favorite brands right now?
Some of my favorite brands might not be in Paris runway. Smaller brands, Le Pair, L-E-P-E-R-E. I love what Le Pair is doing right now. You guys should check that out. Golden Goose, obviously, and Golden Goose, I love what they do, but they don't have a runway. Yeah. They believe that the people are the runway models, which is why I love that brand. But those two, but who I'm looking forward, I always love just the big brands. Balenciaga, they do some dope stuff. Gucci, Louis Vuitton, obviously Tom Brown. So those, I like just the way they go, because they do stuff that you would not wear, but it's still art and it's still cool to see.
Hop, I draw inspiration from architecture. I draw inspiration, from watching, like shows, and I'll look at all the details. It's on the production side. Where do you draw inspiration? Is the first part of my question. And two, when you talk about your own fashion brand, right? Like, what do you envision your runway show looking like and your show looking like?
So I draw inspiration from artists, Deborah Roberts, Robert Hodge, even some old school artists. And also I just love getting out and walking around in nature and looking at architectural buildings and furniture. So I actually, design a lot of furniture in my house. So I've kind of been into it for a couple of years. But what I imagine for my brand and how I see it, I don't really know if a runway show is what I want. I like the model of allowing the people to be the models and not really putting a certain kind of body style in something and people thinking that they have to look like that, even though shout out to the amazing models who do that. Most Americans are a certain size, and most people live in other places aren't that modelless, body type. So for me, I don't really know if I would have a runway show. If anything, my runway show would be something where people are in the streets and it's very natural.
I like that.
That's what I envision myself and my brand being.
What's your personal style? Like me, I tend to lean more towards minimalism. I don't really like a lot of color. I like structure. I like straight lines. If I do baggy bottoms, a tight top, or vice versa. Some people like color. Some people like patterns. What do you tend to lean more towards?
Hold on, is this true, B. Marsh?
It's true. I'm always either in, listen, ask him. I'm either in black, gray, beige. I like more straight lines, minimalism. I'm not a big color person. It's not my
Ashley's
thing.
fly, bro. Like, that's part of our brand. So I am athlete. Like I always say, we live in the intersection between sports and culture. And when I say culture, it's more like hip hop. And so, if you're not fly or trying to be fly, you can't be on the platform. So she fly, bro.
All right. Nah, I'm just messing with you. But I would say my style is very minimalist. I used to do a lot of it crazy, exotic stuff. But I like finding the pieces that are very hard to get in a sense where I got to go hunting or I have to go there and knock on some doors and shake some hands and stuff like that. So I collect pieces that I might not be able to wear, but it might be a 1 of 3 Mason Margiela that was done in the 80s or something like that. So, but you won't see me wearing it, but my style that I like is minimalist, clean, very I am athlete-ish.
I like that.
There you go, Brandon. See what happens? You gave him a nice intro, and now he gave something back to you.
Right.
That's beautiful. I love that.
No, man. Listen, I look at you guys still very close when you guys send the gift package. I look at the quality. I stretch it out. You do a good job. I always want to ask you, do you have a hand in everything that you do, though, B?
I do, bro, and now it's to the point where it's about building out teams and also trusting teams for us to scale and become like what I think is like 2 dope hype brands, House of Athlete, I Am Athlete. We got to continue to build teams, and I got to give the responsibility to other people. But I'm certainly surrounded by some phenomenal people. We have a COO, I have a chief of staff, we have head of brand, we have head of business development, we have Manderville, who's been with me for a couple years, head of production. Mishi, my wife, she's the one that launched our apparel line, and she wanted it to be a premium and a quality product. So it's made in Portugal. For me, it just, I just set the direction, and I think that's my responsibility as the founder CEO, and that's to keep the company funded, to set the strategy and build the team. And so when you think about that, the strategy for me is on the House of Athlete side, this is a premium quality brand. Like when I think about House of Athlete, I think about House of Athlete being a Miami design district next to the St. Laurents, to the Louis Vuittons in the athleisure space. And then I Am Athlete, right? I see us as more of like a hype brand, the Aimé Leon de Jour.
We're going to work on your pronunciation.
Saint
Laurent. It's French. Saint Laurent. It's French.
No, you do a good job, man. And I'm going to give you your kudos and hat off because your quality is right there beside the best of the best. So
appreciate that,
man.
I appreciate that. Can we get some breaking news here? We're talking about brands and we're talking about quality. I know yours is going to be fire. Do you have a name? Have you announced the name of your clothing line?
So right now we want to house it similar to how certain people house brands and branch off, but by eye. Breaking news right here, man. By eye.
By eye.
And,
wow.
Yeah, and eye. By eye, and it means more than just that eye, but when you say by eye is your fingerprint on everything as a human being because we're all connected. So it's like the connection that we all have together as a humanity, and other things are going to branch off from by eye, but by eye is the brand and the label.
I love it.
I love that.
I love it.
I love things with deep meanings, deep creatively.
How do we spell it before we move on?
B-Y-I.
B-Y-I.
And then I.
I know I'm going to be in line. I'm going to get it.
I like
Absolutely,
that.
Me too.
That's super dope. You guys wanna switch gears?
Yeah, let's switch gears.
Okay.
Where you want to go?
We want to go back to football for a second?
And also, Nagin, send me send me 2 questions from our chat. Let's let our team ask DHop a question. Say that again.
I said, where the chat? What a live
Let's
question?
Let's see what the chat.
I think for me, I think we can bounce around here to this last block of the show. We got to let him go. He needs to go train because he's still active, right? So we can't keep him forever.
Well, that's a good segue, Brandon, right there. Listen, you sat down with Davante Adams recently in Vegas. Yep. Great job, by the way. We were watching from here in the 305, and he gave his top 5 wide receivers, and you've asked a bunch of guys that you've been in contact with their top 5 lists.
Yeah.
And Davante Adams didn't have you in his top 5, which is fine. Listen, everyone has their own top 5, but I wonder if that gives you a little bit more fuel in the tank. I know you already have it. I know you don't need anybody's, accolades and things like that, but at one point you were in everybody's top 5.
Yep.
And now it seems like
he was my one.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, for
and
some
I gotta
people,
be honest, bro. You my brother and I love you, but it's just like when you miss some games, right? Like it's easy for us to forget, or you have to have the conversation around other people. So like, I just want to be clear, Ashley, that he was my one, my two, before the last year and a half.
So for some people, you were the one, you were the two, but you were always in the top 5. I don't think anyone had a list of top wide receivers in the NFL that did not include DeAndre Hopkins. Now it's kind of switched gears a little bit. Do you feel slighted by that, knowing that you are still one of the best in the NFL?
I do not feel slighted by that at all. I know I'm the best in the NFL. Just me personally, I know where I am. I know what I've done with with whatever I have around me. So for me, do I feel slighted? Never. I know who I am. And you got to respect everyone's opinion. That's what makes the world go around. That's what I love. I will never be mad at a guy for not having me in their top 5, top 10, top 15. But the ones who know football know. And, so for me now, and like you said, I haven't played, 2 full seasons. And I don't like talking previous. I don't like talking past. So that's what's on my record right now. And the only thing I can do is go out this year and go to work. That's it.
I love it. Bro, what makes you special, right? Like you think about some of these other wide receivers, Justin the Jet Jefferson, how shifty he is, consistent. Diggs, I love his stop and go, his ability to go from one side to the next, and how explosive he can be. Obviously, you got Devontae Adams, who we just talked about. But when we talk about DHop, I'm a follow up after you if you don't cover it. But what makes you special?
I feel like I know the answer, but I hope he says it. Go ahead.
What makes me special is having one of the lowest drop rates since I've been playing in the NFL.
Hands, baby.
And those are things that on paper that, being in someone's list, what's on paper doesn't lie when I'm on the field.
Yeah.
So for me, having the lowest drop rate in the NFL, I don't know if it's top 3, top 2, top 1, maybe past couple years. For me, it's my hands. And not just that, it's my mindset, it's my mentality. I can line up inside, I can line up outside, and I've proven that last year, year before. I can play really pretty much anywhere, and I would say, not just alone, not that, but the mindset to be successful and be in this league for 11 years, going on 11 years. You have to have a certain mindset, and I feel like yourself, you had that. And Ryan Fitzpatrick used to tell me about you and how about you and how him and you used to, just communicate. He was like, man, B. Marsh was a dog, but he was also just mentally very different than a lot of receivers that he played with. So I feel like that's what separates guys like myself and others. That's
right. And that's why I appreciate that. And that's why I always have you at the top of my list. And that's why I'm excited. It's going to be a fun year. Is because the way I look at it, bro, we can talk about speed. We can talk about hands. We can talk about stop and go routes, all of that stuff. But when the game's on the line, right? And it's mano, who's going to come down with the ball, who's going to win. And that's mindset, that's hands, that's everything you covered. But to me, it's like that dog mindset that we have. Stephon Diggs have that. I don't care if you got 2-3 people if he has 2-3 people on him, he's coming down with the ball, right? And that's what I love about D-Hop's game. And the game's been missing it. I don't know if there's a receiver that has your type of mindset. Maybe A.J. Brown, right? Like there's some great receivers, but I'm talking about just nasty dogs out there like that. Diggs is like that. But man, we've seen you make some amazing catches in the biggest moments. Ashley, I don't know if you have anything else, but there's some interesting questions.
I like this question here from Dimitri. I don't want to mess up your last name, so I'm going to skip over it. He says, what philosophies do you study to help develop your mindsets?
I study I really don't like speaking on too much, religion and stuff like that. But I studied Hinduism a little bit, and I felt like that kind of helped my mindset of meditating and, just kind of being at ease when I'm out there at the highest level. So that's something I studied, a little Hinduism, and I read a couple books over the past couple years, and since I've been playing to help that as well.
I love that.
All right, well, let's stay right there. Learning more about who you are. This is from Psalm, I believe.
Psalm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, this is from Psalm. What do you want your next fan base make sure you listen to the question correctly, clearly. What do you want your next fan base to know about you? And this is from Psalm, bro. This is not from me. This is from Psalm, bro. Like, I ain't that messy.
What's the question?
What do you want your next fan base to know about you from Psalm?
So my next fan base, my life after football.
I like that.
My next fan base will know that, like B. Mar said, I'm a dog. I'm a go-getter. I don't complain. Try to make everybody around me better, and you're gonna get somebody who's the most competitive guy on the field.
Okay.
I like these questions.
Whatever field that is.
Here we go.
Could be the fashion field, the business field.
We have time for two more questions because DHop has an amazing workout that he has to attend to.
I do like these questions. We're fresh off from Mother's Day, and a lot of fans just want to know, how is your mom doing? Simple as that.
Oh, mom's doing good. My mom is doing amazing. Go check out her Instagram, Sabrina Greenlee. My mom is 100% blind, but if you look at her social media and you talk to her, you would think that she can see everything.
She's fly too, so.
my mom is spreading good energy. She has a domestic violence charity that her and I both work on, and it's behind the scenes, daily grinding every day. It's work.
There you go.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, DHop, I got a question for you, right? I mean, we talk about the mindset that you have, just that dog mentality. What's a phrase, just like in a few words, right? Or in other words, what's your motto that keeps you motivated, that motivates you to be the guy that you are off the field and on the field?
Honestly, my motto, man, I hate to say this, but it's not just one word, but it's having a lot of people in my family that are not here, having loved ones that are gone. So my motto is, I feel pushed by a lot of family members that have left this life early, that would love to be here enjoying this with me. So my motto, I always smile and I try to, be present. Try to, put out good energy because of that. I had a lot of loved ones who were my age or younger, tragically, are not here. So that's my motto, man. Just, enjoying this life because, man, you got to enjoy this life while you're here. This life is very, very short.
Love it. Really quick but powerful answers here. Okay. Toughest thing you've ever dealt with and how you overcame it.
Toughest thing I dealt with was my mom being blind, being assaulted. How I overcame it. I overcame it by reading. I overcame it by finding the right mentors and the right people to listen to in life.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Best advice I ever received was hang around people who you want to be like. My mom always said, gangsters hang out with gangsters and lawyers hang out with lawyers.
Yeah, that's mama.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Worst advice?
Worst advice was from my first financial advisor that I fired my first year in the NFL. He told me to spend a certain amount of money every month, or that I could spend a certain amount of money every month. But I did the math on it, and my contract and spending that amount of money didn't work. And he didn't give me another plan to make money.
Wow.
That's
simple.
Insane.
All right. Everybody in the chat says this is the last one from me. Guilty pleasure. What's your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure is cookies, late night. Eating cookies. I'm a cookie fanatic. I like baking. So I've been on the gluten-free wave lately, but eating cookies after 10 o'clock is not good for me.
I do the same, but I go ahead and I'll take the burden. It's cool, whatever. Before we let you go ahead and close it out, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we like to do check-ins with each other, with the viewers, and on a scale of 1 through 10, with everything going on in your life right now, training, the uncertainty of where you're going to be, family stuff, business stuff, the things we see, the things we don't see, on a scale of 1 through 10, where are you?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I am great. What's your scale?
So 10 is the best, and 1 is you're not doing that great.
Yeah, we need.
Okay,
you need
okay. I'm gonna be honest. I am at a 10. I am at peace with myself. I am at peace with life. I'm in a good place. My kids, my family. This is an exciting part of my life. I'm going on my 11th year in the NFL, but body wise, I feel great, and I feel like it's starting to come together. So for me, I couldn't be more excited about my future.
DHop, we love you. You are the maestro. I think
Maestro.
There's the maestro.
Mastro's is the restaurant.
Same thing. But there's so much to learn from you, bro. I wish we had more time. We have to do a part 2 here, maybe in the next 6 months or so. There's so much we can dive into. But we just want to thank you. And we'll see you in the football season. We don't know what colors you're going to be wearing, but we know you're going to. You do?
Blue and silver.
Blue and silver? Listen, let's make this bet. Me and Ashley like to bet. So you say blue and silver?
That's just me manifesting.
He's going to be in Buffalo. Him and Stephon Diggs. Oh, you say put the point. There it is.
I like the manifestation. I like the.
Yeah.
Let's go, Buffalo.
He's manifesting Buffalo. I'm going to manifest Dallas.
We love you, bro. Go get your workout in, man.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
All right. Yo, that's DHop, man. Ashley, quick recap. How do you feel?
I feel good. You said Mastro's?
Maestro.
Maestro. You know what Mastro's is,
Yeah,
right?
It's the food place.
Yeah, it's the restaurant.
You like
I love Mastro's. Mastro's is one of my favorite restaurants.
Dang.
Yeah, that butter cake.
Right.
I just got chills going down my back.
You know what, Ashley? My takeaway from our conversation with DHop is that there's so much more to DHop.
Yeah.
But he is a microcosm of so many other athletes, right? Like on the surface, you see the competitor. On the surface, you see this phenomenal wide receiver that makes these amazing catches year after year after year. But our athletes are so complex, and there's so many layers to them. You know, he talked about, try to tap in a little bit on religion, the books that he reads, even his demeanor, right? Like, that's the biggest takeaway is like, man, when you really see people, sometimes you really don't know.
He has a very calming energy, a very calming, just tranquil, just at peace, just centered energy, which is not something I feel like you would expect from athletes, but specifically football players, because the sport is so the opposite of that. But it's a nice surprise when someone has that just ability to kind of flip that switch and just be a completely different version of who they are on the field. You know,
that was dope. Listen, guys, we're going to continue to do this. We have a lot going on with the platform. We got Corey coming in with his squeakiness. Come on, brother. You got to put some WD-40 on this game. Like, come on, what is going on over here? But we have so much going on with the platform. You have Paper Route Monday through Thursday, every single day live on YouTube, SiriusXM, Faction Talk, Channel 103. We'll continue to push forward with our weekly show. We're ramping up for the football season, so we have some amazing things planned there. But I'm really excited about going live in studio or having guys Zoom in, right? Because that gives us an opportunity to touch more people, right? And learn from more guys and more of our female athletes. We got to do more of that. Like, when's the last time we had a female athlete on?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
We got to do more was of that. Lisa Leslie, right?
Yep, that's right. I reached out to somebody.
Yeah? I
reached out to like 5 people.
How'd that go?
Really good.
I heard some names that I liked.
Yeah? Well, let's not throw them out.
I'm not. That's why I said I heard some names that I liked. That's the end of my sentence.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's kind of where I was going to end.
Corey, what jumped out to you? We were just recapping our conversation with DHop. Anything that stood out to you?
Well, to me, it was just his mindset. And I heard Ashley kind of going into it about how, he has like that calmness about him.
Very tranquil.
Right? And it is cool to see a guy who is just like a dog on the field to be able to have, that balance of being off the field, being a calm, cool, and collected guy. But I'm expecting a huge season out of him, right? Like, that's basically, you asked him the question, how do you feel about being left out of like people's top 5s right now? And I think that does, add a lot of fuel to the, to the fire for him. But thing about DHop, if he goes for 1,200 yards next season, 10 touchdowns, I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know how you guys feel. It's because of the caliber receiver we know he is. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what he does next year. And then, of course, all of that we learned about him on the fashion side of things. I think that's super cool. We might have a fashion icon, on our hands.
And correction real quick, last female athlete we actually had, it wasn't I Am Athlete, paper route, Angel Reese, the Bayou Barbie.
Right. Which is still in the family. Paper route, still in the family. That's right. She's
LSU phenom and also Sports Illustrated model.
Yeah. That's right. Did you see it?
I did.
She did a phenomenal job. She did great. I would say this, Corey, I want to go back to what you said about DHop. I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I'll be shocked if he doesn't eclipse 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. Yeah. Because he's the type of guy that he doesn't fit in any box. He can go into any system and excel, right? Because he's the type of dude, if it's one-on-one, you can throw it to him. Because when he's covered, he's not covered. And that's what makes guys like this special. And that's why I always had him top on my board when we talk about the best wide receivers. Unfortunately, he had the suspension. I think he may have been injured the year before, just a couple of games, so he wasn't out there a lot, right? But when he's out there, he's the type of guy, you can put him against anybody. Devontae, Tyreek. Like, actually, I would go with DHop first. If it's fourth down.
Yeah, right.
And it's mano-y-mano. It's a gotta have it moment.
Is that your phrase of the day?
What I've been saying, mano-y-mano. Yeah, mano-y-mano, gotta have it moment. I'm taking DHop over any wide receiver in the league right now. Because if there's 3 dudes on him, guess what, Ashley? He's going to find a way to come down with the ball.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of dudes that can separate. There's a lot of dudes that are fast. But there's not too many guys that, rise to that occasion. Yeah. And a lot of what we were talking about in basketball, but I'm not going to go there because I don't want to be cooked by you on my basketball takes. But DHop is that. Another thing that we can't just glance over is it sounds like he's really excited about Buffalo and Josh Allen.
Super excited.
Right?
At different points in the show. I mean, in the episode.
Makes me sad, but at least it's not the NFC, so...
This is going to be interesting, actually, because I've been flaming Buffalo. Not flaming them, but I said that they're going to implode a little this year. Remember me saying this a couple times? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, you lose Leslie Frazier. So what's happening on the defensive side? And there seems to be a little tension the last we saw between Josh and Stephon Diggs. Diggs, he's not there in the offseason program. We just seen a viral video of him and Trayvon in the backyard training, which it's not a shocker for me because we talked about this with DHop, where at this point in his career, it hurts going back to these offseason programs. And why am I saying this to those out there that's watching? It's trash. It's cookie cutter. If I walk into the facility and there's 90 guys in the locker room and there's 4 trainers, really good trainers in the medical room, the training room, and then there's 4 strength and conditioning coaches really good. You have some interns. How the hell are you going to customize a program for me? I want to get faster. I want to jump higher. There's something I got to specifically work on in this right hip or this left glute. Like, it's that intentional. And those guys don't have time, so they take us through the whole this whole cookie cutter program just to get guys in and out. And that's why you see guys at this part of their career where they have a little stability and security where they're like, I opt out, right? But back to Buffalo, if you get DHop, that changes the conversation. 100%. Josh Allen is like that.
I will say, though, there is state tax in Buffalo. Just want to put that out there, DHop. I know how much you mentioned you don't like state tax. There's surely a lot of it in Buffalo. I'm just saying. Just want to put that on your radar just in case you weren't familiar. That's all.
He wasn't high on the Dallas Cowboys.
That's because we're somebody that you kind of have to warm up to. We're like that date that you don't like on the first date, but date 3 you're in love. You know what I mean? It takes a couple dates to like us, we're not going to spring you head over heels date 1. We're like a date 3, date 4, date 5 type of team.
I like him there too, right?
But once you're in for life.
That would be interesting, Ashley, because, you brought up Devontae Adams, right? We had him Friday. And then his top 5, which was a shocker, was CeeDee Lamb. So
he compared him to himself.
That's right. Yeah. So imagine a CeeDee Lamb and DHop together. That's scary.
I feel like Jerry should hire me for like the recruitment process of the Dallas Cowboys, you know?
Listen, Jerry's about to turn 99.
No, he's not.
Jerry need to make a move. He need to bust a move quick. Like, why wouldn't you be doing this? I love how the Cowboys transitioned. This is back when I was playing right around like 2010, right? They were one of the owners and teams where people felt like they were just throwing money at the problem. And then they stopped and they start building up the team internally and through the draft. And so they haven't really made too many crazy big splashes like what you expect them to do, they don't do. But this feels good to me. I feel like the Dallas Cowboys should absolutely find a way to pursue D-Hop.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind. I'll do it for free too. I'll work as a recruiter as the head recruiter for the Dallas Cowboys for 100% no cost.
100% no cost.
Just game tickets.
All right, put your big board together. Give me 3 players that you're going after first.
First of all, number 1 on my list, Deandre Hopkins.
Okay.
I'm getting Zeke back.
Okay.
For a fraction of the cost, because I know the running back market's not going to be great, and we still need the workhorse.
Ain't nobody trying to listen to you if you throwing pennies at us?
No, I'm not going to throw pennies at you. I'm going to just restructure your contract a little bit. I still think there's a place for you in the Dallas Cowboys. I just don't think you're running back number 1 anymore. That's okay. And
what do y'all need? Think about what y'all need.
We need a wide receiver.
So you got D-Hop, you got Zeke. What about, you know who's out there? You got I'm about to show you the list. I'm about to show you the list right here, Ashley. I'm about to help you out because I sent this to Corey this morning and I wanted to talk about it tomorrow, but we can talk about it now in the show. All right. NFL players. No, that's not it. Corey, you have the list.
Who has the list of players that are free agents?
Players that are available. You got Clowney. Yeah. I know he's dealing with some knee issues.
Marcus Peters is another one. Jarvis Landry, right? I believe is still available.
DeAndre Hopkins. Give me Zeke back.
Yeah.
Who else is on the list?
Who?
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. That could be interesting.
Kareem Hunt would be interesting.
But then you have to do away with Zeke. You can't bring them both in.
I know. Right. Kareem Hunt would be
interesting.
You
have the big boy from Leonard Fournette.
No, not high on Fournette.
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney, I brought up him.
Leonard Floyd's another one. Leonard Clark is another one.
Oh.
Yeah. No, Marcus Peters. I mentioned Marcus Peters.
Frank Clark, though?
Frank Clark. That might be a good addition.
That'd be a real good addition. Yeah. Just send me out there, Jerry. Come on. I will do this for you. Free of charge. You won't have to pay me a dime. Just give me season tickets.
Wow.
That's it. That's all I want.
Right.
I will get everybody that you need for the Dallas Cowboys.
What's happening tonight in sports?
The Knicks need to do the same thing, honestly. Hire me as a recruiter.
We got the Lakers on the brink of elimination tonight.
It's tonight?
Oh, yeah. The team you said was going to the finals. Discuss. Oh, that's you know what, Corey? That's an absolutely perfect segue because that gives him the opportunity to apologize to Jamal Murray. We're back here.
No, we're not back
here. We are again.
Jamal Murray.
They gave him the solo.
No, we're not here.
Jamal Murray apologies.
It's not. We're not there. Listen, you still can't tell me any moment throughout the year where we celebrated Jamal Murray as this superstar, this elite guy. Can you please help me? Maybe you, Corey.
What's that? What did you need help with?
Any moment, when you're elite, we talk about you.
Yeah.
We talked about Joker. We talked about Embiid. Hell, we even talked about KD, and he barely played this year. We talked about Devin Booker. We talked about LeBron James. We talked about AD.
Okay, I'm sorry.
When did we talk about Jamal Murray?
Who is we? Who is we?
The sports world. No, everybody want to jump on the Jamal Murray bandwagon.
That's because he plays in Denver and he happened to be playing with what was going to be the 3-time reigning MVP who was averaging a triple-double.
Right.
When it comes to having that conversation versus Jamal Murray, who do you think is going to get more headlines? Let's be honest. Let's act like we've been here before.
Yeah, but we can still say, you know what? A great analyst, commentator, man or woman on the beat will say, I know we're talking about Joker right now.
Come on,
but
Brandon.
has anyone seen this streak that Jamal Murray's been on?
You sound cool.
That has
Come on.
60% from here. 40%.
Are you new?
But that has been the story since the start of the playoffs. Jamal Murray's high level of play. And what do you say all the time, Brandon? The season doesn't start until when?
April.
In April, right? And that has been the story of the Nuggets since that point in time.
Since April?
I wouldn't say since April, but since the playoffs
but
started.
you don't pay attention
matters.
to teams that don't have the brightest lights on them because all you focus on are your trash Nets, your sometimes Cavaliers, and I'm sorry, your super team that was going to go all the way,
Jamal
the
Murray,
Phoenix
Jamal
Suns,
Murray had
and
one
LeBron
big
James and the Lakers.
Jamal Murray had 1.5 big games in the Suns series, right? Like if freaking CP3 don't go down, we're not even talking about the Nuggets right now. CP3 and these soft tissue injuries.
Listen,
Jamal Murray, think about that. Let's go back to the series.
To be entered into this conversation.
Jamal Murray had 2 30-point games in the Phoenix series.
That's what I said. A game and a half. A game and a half.
2 games.
He had a big fourth quarter.
Do you know what he was averaging this entire season?
What 22 points?
No, I ain't gonna lie. He averages like 16, 17 points during the regular season.
But
he's elite.
Hold on.
He's elite.
But we're not just looking at what he was averaging, his efficiency, and look at it from after the All-Star break.
Well, that's the point. Actually, they said that Jamal Murray had the largest increase of points per game average from the regular season to the postseason.
His efficiency has only increased from the start of the season to the playoffs.
I need consistency on my team.
And when it matters the most.
I need to know what I'm getting every single night.
You are getting what you're getting every single night.
You just said the whole season he averaged 16 points, and then the last couple of weeks, then he turns it up.
From the start of the season to the brink of the playoffs, when I say brink, I'm talking March, April, and now into the playoffs, his efficiency and consistency has only increased, which makes him a pivotal part of the Denver Nuggets' success.
He's elite, right? That's what you said.
In the playoffs, he's absolutely
he's elite.
elite.
He's elite. He's elite.
Jamal Murray at his best 100% is elite.
So he's top 15?
Top 15 what? We going positions or just players?
Players.
No, players, no. Positions?
He's not even top 40. He's not top 30.
Are we talking position or are we talking players? Okay, but players, there's so many levels and tiers of what makes a player top 15.
Jamal Murray's like a top 7 point guard.
He's definitely top 10 in PGs.
Right, I don't want to tear down the athlete, but can we let's give him some flowers. He's playing good.
He's not playing good. He's playing exceptional.
Yeah, the last what they the graphic that they put up there, maybe it was 2 games ago, or no, it was last game. The last 3 quarters is what they put up there. That's what they put up there. They ain't say the last 3 series. They ain't say the playoffs. They said the last 3 quarters, he's been exceptional.
So you're saying Jamal Murray's been exceptional for 3 quarters of basketball this series?
He closed out the Suns, and he's been consistent in playing at a high level this series. Absolutely.
Oh, we're not watching the same series.
We are.
I'm convinced we're not watching the same game.
What is going on with LeBron?
I'm convinced we're not watching the same game.
What's up with LeBron?
You tell me. That was the reason you were going to the finals, right?
We're over. We're over 2 minutes, and if we keep going over, it's going to take a lot on post, huh?
None of this is going to make it.
None of it's going to make it.
So we just talked.
We love you guys. We had DHop come on. It was an awesome conversation. He never speaks. He stays in the cut, Ashley. He's low key, our type of person, right? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we have Smitty. Yep. Hold on, don't say nothing. Do you know who Smitty is?
Absolutely.
Who's Smitty?
Devontae Smith.
Okay, great. Devontae Smith. He's coming on the show out tomorrow. So make sure you guys come back. Make sure you guys also subscribe and like and jump in the chat and comment. Give us your feedback. We'll continue to get better. We have Michael Rappaport later in the week, the comedian. He's a Knicks fan too, right?
Oh, might have to give him a hard time then.
Wow.
He's a sometimes Knicks fan.
Okay, so we're going to have this conversation when he comes on. Michael Rappaport, Ashley Nicole Moss is challenging your fandom.
He's a sometime. Last time I checked, he jumped ship to the Brooklyn Nets with you, so I'm not quite sure where he stands at this point in the game.
So I guess that's what we're going to be talking about with Michael Rappaport. But anyways, we love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you guys engage with us, subscribe, like, and give us your comments. DM us. We are listening. We are watching. We are reading. Until tomorrow, guys, go be great. Love you. Bye.